Good morning, students. I am Soumya Sethu, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Saharadaya College of Advanced Studies, Autonomous. Let's start with the part 2 of the module 4, Theoretical Frameworks for the Practice of Science in Ancient India. Today we will discuss about the topic chemistry of colors, measures of weight and capacity, size of the minimum visible. Let's start. In ancient times, exchange began with barter system, later replaced by currency system. The weights and measurements of the things were also the relative components and the important part of the business of that time. Various methods were adopted to measure the weight of things. Some grains were also used to measure the minute weights. The dimensional measures and the techniques were also in use. The metric system came afterwards. After the development of language, man began to find the stability of behavior. So he began to find the consistency in the transaction. At that time, man began to feel the need for the means of exchange. So he started for looking for currency. Barter system existed in the early period, but there were many problems related to the barter system. The main problem is that there is no uniformity in the barter system. So, in order to tackle this situation, a parallel value systems began to be considered all over the world. So, in barter system, exchanges were there. But there were no uniformity related to that exchange. So, a parallel value system began to be considered. So, when considering the ancient continent, the first thought of parallel value is found in the value of cow. In ancient time, the value of gold was also reflected in the value of cow. Just as we reflect any value today in the value of dollars around the world, in India at that time it was reflected in the value of cow and in the value of gold. So it is shown in this slide. Gold value was often equated to the value of cow at that time. But nowadays we are reflecting all the value in terms of dollar. So at that time they were reflecting it in the value of cow. So many texts such as Manu Smriti and Yajnavalkya Smriti were at that time, all they discuss the concept of values. Yajnavalkya Smriti and Manu Smriti were the most important texts at that time which mention the concept of value. So in this text they mentioned a seed named Gunja. They were used to weigh gold, silver and copper. So at that time, some grains or seeds of uniform size were used to weigh things in early period, and all these things are mentioned in Manusmriti. So seed of uniform weight is shown by Gunja. Gunja seeds have same weight. So it is used to weigh gold, silver and copper. And carrot. Today we use the term carrot. It originated from the Arabic word karot. Karot means seed and it is used to weigh. Why this gunja is used for weighing things such precious items such as gold, silver and copper? Because these seeds do not change with time or with seasons. These seeds does not undergo any change. So these seeds were used to measure valuable things like gold, silver and copper. And all these things are mentioned in Manusmriti. Okay, in Manusmriti, weight tables are also made of gold, silver and copper. But in everyday transaction, other weighing scales existed to measure grain and other items. Only weights are measured in Manusmriti, not measurements are mentioned. So you have to note this point. In Manusmriti, there is only mentioning about the weights, not about the measurements. Okay. Next is about the ancient units of measurement. So here some measurements are given. 30 paramanu is equal to 1 vanshi and 6 Vanshi is equal to 1 Mariji, and 6 Mariji is 1 Rai, and 3 Rai is 1 Shiraz, and 8 Shiraz is 1 Yava, and 4 Yava is 1 Gunja. So all these measurements it is shown in Magadha Pramana. These 30 Paramanu, Vanshi, Mariji, Rai, all these are mentioned in Magadha Pramana. And some way concepts are mentioned in Sharangandhar Samhita. It is one of the famous Ayurveda texts, Sharangandhara Samhita. In that Samhita also there are mentioning about the value of concepts. So weights and measures are mentioned there as dosage of medicines. So these measurements are also given in Magadha Pramana, and in Magadha we can see all these measurements, Paramanu, Vanshi, Mariji, Rai, Shiraz, Yava and Gunja. And according to Magadha Pramana, Paramanu is the smallest unit of measurement. Here you can see 30 Paramanu is equal to 1 Vanshi. So according to Magadha Pramana, Paramanu is the smallest unit of measurement. And 1 Vanshi, do you know what 1 Vanshi is? 30 Paramanu is 1 Vanshi. And 1 Vanshi is a floating dust particle seen in the beam of light entering a dark room. So Vanshi is that much small thing. And Paramanu, Vanshi and Mariji, all that measurements were not visible to the naked eye according to Magadha Pramana. So these measurements were based on judgment and proportion, which remained constant. Scientific and textual contribution. Yajna system used geometrical concepts like triangles and spheres. In Yajna system, all measurements were based on the basis of triangle and spear shapes. They were based on Yajna Vakya Smriti. All this they used the geometrical concepts like triangles and spears. From these, various kundas were developed, and the Shrauta Sutras provide detailed descriptions of measurement. And Chanakya in his Kautilya Arthashastra give description of the state system and economy. And in this Kautilya Shastra, Chanakya not only mentions the weights and measurements, but he also explains how to do the weighing, designing length and width of the weighing devices. So in Kautilya's Chanakya's Kautilya Arthashastra, he not only mentions about the weights and measurements, he also mentions about how to design a weighing machine and what all things we have to keep in mind while designing a weighing machine. That's all things comes in Chanakya's Kautilya Arthashastra. And the tools used for weighing that should be made of iron or stone available in Magadha and Mekal countries, or which will not increase with water coating or decrease with heat. That means it should be stable. So from those materials they created the weighing machines. Okay. Weights and influence from other cultures. So different regions had different systems of measurements. So Greek weights were adopted by Romans. They are the multiples of 12. So the Romans used to make small and large sections of weights, and these sections were in multiples of 12. And the Greek Roman measure feet. Nowadays we all know about the feet measurement. So the Greek Roman they were used by, or they were introduced first by Greek Romans. So it spread, the feet measurement spread all over the world, and it spread all over the Europe, then into the entire world. It was used in Europe until the 18th century, and the British tried to introduce all these measurements into India after the colonization. So all these measurements came from other countries, that is the influence from other countries. Then Ayurvedic perspective. Weights and measures were crucial for medicine and dosage that we discussed earlier, found in Sharangandhara Samhita. Weights and measures, the concept of weights and measures were discussed, that too in the dosage of medicines. Correct proportion ensured effectiveness of medicines. So early measurements use uniform seeds, that point we discussed, and the next point is systems evolved and become more refined over time. Ancient Indian tests show a systematic and scientific approach. Correlating ancient system with modern methods may lead to new insights. These all things we have seen in this video. Hope you have all understood. Thank you.